Welcome to the third part of my series on scaling the verse and dimensions wiki. Today, I want to focus on the largest part of the wiki. The hypercosmological structures. This includes everything beyond Meyerverse, which is an enormous structure in its own right, so without further ado, let us begin. The first structure we will look at is the binary field. In simple terms, the binary field contains everything that is or is not any arbitrary object. Be it a potato, a universe, the Meyerverse, and even larger objects. This alone would make the binary field incredibly huge, but to understand how massive this thing truly is, we first need to understand the particular properties of fields and the difference between them and regular verses. Verses, like our universe, are objects that contain a certain amount of things. If anything wanted to leave a verse, it would have to be physically transported outside of it. Oftentimes a verse also decides or influences the properties of any objects inside it, for example the rules of physics or mathematics. A field is different. Rather than being a definite object that contains other objects, a field is more of a collection of all objects that follow a specific set of rules. That means being in a field does not affect the properties of the objects that it holds, rather the properties an object holds affect whether it is in a specific field or not. That means that fields are not bound by cosmology or even fiction, not because of any metafictional bullshit, but because they're literally just fancy ways of saying everything that meets a specific criteria. Take for example a hypothetical apple field. It doesn't matter if the apple is within the SCP universe, the Marvel universe, or in our real universe. Apple is apple and therefore it is per definition within the apple field. The binary field contains everything that is an apple and everything that isn't an apple. So this field contains every idea, concept, or object that can be expressed through this kind of binary form. So, is that it? Is that the biggest structure, the collection of all things that are or aren't an apple? No, far from it. That's because hypercosmology assumes that everything exists, to a degree far greater than even extended modal realism. That means that even objects that are completely impossible, like those that are neither an apple nor not an apple, have to exist on some level. The next field is called the trinary field. It is the field that contains everything that is an apple, is not an apple, or is neither an apple nor not an apple. The size of the trinary field is unfathomably bigger than the binary field. Comparing them is like comparing an apple to everything else in the binary field. That is because if you take an object from within the trinary field, and then take all objects that are not it, you form another binary field separate to ours. This process can be done an innumerable amount of times, those fields can be extended indefinitely. This chain is called the n-ary fields. The Plato field contains all n-ary fields, which in turn is contained by the schema field. The schema field contains everything that can be expressed using any kind of information, including those of the n-ary fields. Outside of that is the ab field, which contains everything that has no information at all, and all of this is contained within the it field. The it field is the field that contains everything. So no matter what you define, it is contained within the it field. Now we are at the end, right? I mean, is there any object that can surpass this field? If this video has taught you anything, then you might not be surprised to hear this, but yes, there are. Namely objects that are per definition absolutely not able to be contained. You might ask, how many things would even fit this definition? The answer is many. Just like the objects within the trinary field are compared to those within the binary field, the ones outside of the it field are far more free. So there are way more things that can be constructed, that are not within the it field. The difference is similar to the difference between the binary field and the trinary field. All those things are contained in the anti-field. It contains everything that can't be contained and ignores everything that prevents it from doing so. Following it are a set of fields called the Parafields. They function similar to the n-ary fields, but instead of using is and is not, they use can be contained, can't be contained, can neither be contained nor not be contained, etc. After this indescribably long chain comes the non-field. It contains everything that is still not contained and ignores everything that prevents it from doing so. This could again be extended, just like the fields before, and again with an indescribable number of new kinds of fields. After all of this comes the dis field. It contains all the extensions of the previous fields and ignores everything that would prevent it from doing so. Ignoring everything that prevents it from doing so. You might have noticed I've used that phrase a lot in this video. That is because containing anything that comes after the it field is in itself a paradox. So the fields that are after the it field have something called paradox resistance, which gives them the ability to completely ignore those paradoxes. Now we could go on and on about the possible fields that can be constructed after the dis field, but I think you get the point. Now let's move on to the part that I promised in the title. The box. The box contains everything and it ignores anything that prevents it from doing so and any paradoxes that arise from it. That means anything that can be thought of is in the box and anything that can't be as well. The box is inside the box, as well as anything that is not contained by the box. No matter what object you describe and no matter how much you try to put it outside the box still contains it. Now we also get to the most powerful entity on the Verse and Dimensions wiki. The true God. It is what you get if you interpret the box as an entity, which it very well is. The true God is everything that is within the box and is therefore the most powerful entity that can be described. So yeah, the true God solos your favorite verse, even Goku. Is there anything outside the box? There very well might be, but anything that is outside it cannot be described at all, so it is irrelevant to think about it. And with that, my video comes to an end. Thank you all for watching, and if you're still here, you might be interested in my short form videos. Goodbye and see you all in my next video.